up, everyone, and welcome. You know, there's so much noise out there about AI, but today, we're gonna cut right through it. We're looking at a super powerful, kind of under-the-radar business model that is actually making people money today. It's called the Build Once protocol, and trust me, it's a total game changer. But before we jump into the solution, we have to get real about the problem. And the big, unspoken secret in the world of corporate AI is that for most companies, it's just not working. It's not delivering on the massive hype. So let's start with a pretty shocking number from a 2024 BCG report. Get this, a staggering 56% of companies get absolutely zero financial return from their AI investments. Just think about that for a second. Over half are throwing money at AI and getting nothing back. Ouch. So what's going on here? Why is that number so high? Well, it turns out only about a third of companies are actually doing the hard work of restructuring how they operate to use AI properly. And everyone else? Well, they're just buying flashy dashboards and hoping for some kind of magic to happen. And that right there, that's the core mistake. A tool is completely useless if you don't fix the broken process it's supposed to help. Okay, so if that's what doesn't work, let's flip the script and look at what does. And honestly, the best way to see it is with a real-world story that really gets to the heart of this whole strategy. So our story doesn't start in some slick Silicon Valley office. Nope. It starts in a small fabrication shop in Pune, India. And their big problem wasn't exactly glamorous. It was purchase order reconciliation. You know, the tedious job of matching invoices to delivery receipts. It sounds boring, but for their business, it's absolutely critical. And this quote, it just captures the pain perfectly, doesn't it? A real person was spending 11 full days just staring at different purchase order formats, manually matching every single line item. This is exactly the kind of soul-crushing, repetitive work that is just begging to be automated. So, that's what they did. They built a solution using modern AI-powered automation tools. And the result? They saved 340 hours every single quarter. Now that's not some vague promise of future value. That is a massive, tangible win with a crystal clear return on investment. But here is where the story gets really, really interesting. This is the light bulb moment. It turned out this problem wasn't unique to them at all. 3 other shops, literally on the same industrial estate, were fighting the exact same battle with messy ERP systems and paperwork that just disappears. The exact same pain point. And this right here, this is the magic of the whole model. They built one workflow and landed 4 paying clients. And the best part? 0 rebuilds. The exact same solution worked for all of them. This is the build once, sell many idea in its absolute purest form. So, you see, this wasn't just some lucky accident. It's a repeatable framework, a protocol. So let's break down the actual steps of how this thing works. It's actually beautifully simple. First, you pick the single, ugliest, most painful recurring workflow you can find in a specific industry. Second, you automate it using tools that are already out there, stuff like NNN or Zapier. And third, and this is the absolute key, you productize it. You sell the outcome, the solved problem, not your time by the hour. Because here's the trap so many consultants and agencies fall into. They sell custom builds for every single client. They're constantly reinventing the wheel. And as the source material puts it just perfectly, that's not a business, that's just a job. Now, I know what you might be thinking. That's great, but can't someone just come along and copy my workflow? And you know what? That's a fair question. So let's talk about the real competitive advantage here, the moat that actually makes this whole model defensible. Okay, this is so crucial. Your moat isn't the software you use. Anyone can use Zapier. The real moat, it's the decision logic you build into that software. It's your deep industry-specific knowledge, the why behind every single step of the automation. That's the stuff that can't be easily copied. This quote just nails it. A competitor can absolutely copy your NN setup, but what they can't copy is the 6 months of hard-won experience you have, knowing that a particular supplier's invoices always have errors on line 3. That knowledge is your secret sauce. It's incredibly valuable. So let's just put this side by side with building a traditional SaaS product, right? With a productized workflow, you can be generating revenue in a matter of weeks, not 6 to 12 months. You don't need a big engineering team. You don't need to go chase venture capital. It is by far the cheapest and fastest way to prove that you have found a real problem that people will happily pay you to solve. But the big question, does this really scale? I mean, what happens when client number 50 comes along and uses a totally different invoice format? Well, this is where the AI really shines. A large language model, an LLM, acts like a super smart classification layer. It can understand and handle all those different formats, so your core logic, your workflow, stays exactly the same. That's the key to making this thing scale. All right, we've gone through the problem, we've seen the real-world story, and we've broken down the protocol. So now, let's turn this around and make it about you. So this is the final thought I really want to leave you with. Think about your own industry, your own job. What is that one ugly, repetitive workflow that you know inside and out? And here's the million-dollar question. Would 3 of your competitors pay good money to make that pain go away? If the answer is yes, well, that right there is your opportunity. Thanks for tuning in.